How can I stay at a job that I can't stand? How can you do it? This is a Black woman therapist who's going to tell you how. So, I'm going to share some tips with you about how to stay at a job that you can't stand. This is an audience requested topic. I get a lot of requests to talk about how can I stay at a toxic job or how can I stay at this job that I can't stand. I'm about to curse people out. I just can't stand it. So, I'm going to share some information with you about ways you could possibly stay at a job. Just want to tell you, spoiler alert, that I'm going to share these tips, but the tips are really not looking at the root of the problem, but I'm going to share these tips with you. Okay. So, 4 tips that I want to offer you about how you can stay at a job that you can't stand. One is to think of self affirmations on your way to work, while you're at work, and maybe when you're leaving work. So, I got this. I'm gonna be okay. After work, I'm gonna do this different activity. I'm smart. All these things. So think about the positive affirmations you can say to yourself. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is listen to some soothing music on your way to work. Maybe if you can listen to music at your job and after work, music can be very healing. And if you can move your body in some kind of way, exercise or dance, some type of movement is healing as well. It helps to release hormones in your body, those positive feel good hormones. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is for you to recognize that that job does not define who you are. You are much bigger than that job, and to really know who you are and what you bring to the table. As you're thinking about this tip, I invite you to think about, however, do you have concerns about leaving that job because you've kind of lost a sense of who you are outside of that job, outside the job title? So that may actually keep you at the job if you can't see who you are outside the job. Maybe you've worked there for so long, you've dedicated so much of your time and energy there, you can't really define who you are outside of that job. So my hope is that you are recognizing that you are so much bigger than that job. That's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is therapy. So, therapy provides an opportunity for you to talk to someone objectively about what you're going through. You can reality test with that person, tell them honestly what's going on with you. And when you're in therapy, again, it's very important to be honest. The other thing is, it's very important to tell your therapist exactly what is happening and the impact it's having on you physically and or psychologically. And if you're wondering, I don't even know how to find a therapist, or I had bad luck trying to find a therapist, I will put a video that I did previously in the description section about how to find a Black therapist. I know many of us, many Black women, want to work with another Black woman for a therapist. So I'll put that information for you. So I've offered you 4 tips. Okay. So again, self affirmations, music or moving your body, remembering who you are, remembering your greatness, remember what you bring to the table, knowing that job does not define who you are. A job is something you do. I'm quoting Stephanie Perry. And number 4, therapy. So I've offered these tips to you as a Black woman therapist, but I also want to just have some real talk with you, just real talk. So I've offered these tips to you. However, spoiler alert, they're not going to really help you address the real problem. So the real problem is your job. So the real problem is the job is doing things or you're having experiences there that is not beneficial to you and may be harming you. So that's the spoiler alert, is that these tips that I'm offering you, and maybe things that you've come up for yourself or you've tried desperately trying to find ways to stay at that job that you can't stand. But all of the things that I've suggested, maybe things you've tried, maybe things your friends or family have suggested, these are all band-aids because they're not looking at the root problem. The root problem is the job. So once you recognize that, then you have options, even though it may not seem like you do, but you do have options. The first thing is recognizing that the job is harming you. So that is really honestly sitting with yourself and thinking about, yeah, I can stay at this job. I can try these band-aid approaches, these short-term approaches. I invite you to think about this. I'm offering you some things to reflect on. 1, I invite you to reflect on, yes, you can stay there, but at what cost? What is it costing you? Physically, what is it costing you? Is your blood pressure going up? You gaining weight? Your hair falling out? Are you experiencing difficulty sleeping? Are you agitated with most people around you, people you care about? Do you have trauma triggers or reminders about the job? Do you have situations where you feel that things just will not get better because of the job? Are you questioning if you'll be able to do anything else outside of the job? If you're crying on your way to work, leaving work, or even I hear about Black women going in the bathroom and crying in the bathroom at the job. If that is you, I invite you to think about the true costs of staying at the job. Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. You can strong through it. But at what cost? I invite you to think about that. The second thing I invite you to think about is the solutions that you've come up with. So I've offered you some tips. I invite you to think about the solutions that you've come up with. Are these band-aids? Do they deal with things short term? So short term, we might do things like thinking about our vacation, or we might treat ourselves something to eat because we had a difficult day. I used to have a stash of little chocolates at work, but then it got to the point where I was eating chocolates all day. So that was a band-aid, and it didn't help me because then I started gaining more weight. So think about what are the things that you're doing that might be helping you, you think, but it's just a band-aid. So think about those things. Are they really addressing the root problem? And the root problem, more than likely, is your job. I invite you to think about that. And then the third thing is to think about, okay, if the job is the larger problem, what do I want to do about it? Do I want to stay and try and spend all this time, extra years of my life, trying to make something work that doesn't work? I've done videos about, why do we say it's okay to not stay in an abusive relationship, but we try to convince ourselves to stay in an abusive job. So I invite you to ask yourself these questions. And how do I know these things? Not only because I'm a Black woman therapist and I have a lot of Black women clients, not only because of that, but because I'm a Black woman toxic job survivor. So I've been there. I have been in those situations of trying to convince myself that I could make it. I convinced myself at a toxic job that I could do self-talk and I could, fight these people and they were going to run me out of here. But who got the cost of that? Me and my family. So I invite you to think about, yes, you can do these things. You can try to stick it out. You can try to all these things, but what is the cost? So if you've gotten to this point in the video and you're thinking, oh, you're right? So, okay, I've gotten to this. I understand that these tips are short-term. These tips are band-aids, all these things. If you're wondering now what, then there are options for you. And I know because I'm creating these options. So these options are to help Black women to prepare to get out of a toxic job or a job they can't stand. So it might be a job you've outgrown. It may or may not be toxic, but I'm here to share information with you about what to do. Okay. So how do you get out of a toxic job? So I have a masterclass coming up October 20th, talking about how to get ready to leave a toxic job. So it's a masterclass, which is going to be October 20th. It'll be 2 hours, and it's going through all the steps of preparing to leave a toxic job. I never tell Black women to just up and leave a job, particularly because I know we all got bills to pay. So this is a very intentional way for us to start getting prepared. So in the masterclass, you will learn different ways about how to prepare yourself. So how to do that career pivot. If you want to take legal recourse, what to do about that. So all the steps of that. And you can register for that on the screen. I have the information here, but it'll also be in the description section. Okay. So again, October 20th from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Information is in the description section about how to register. And then we also have a part 2. So you can come to that particular masterclass. And let me say this too. With the master classes that I offer, so Marissa Price and I are doing this together, with the master classes and the summits and everything that we offer, we really value your privacy. And we know that a lot of times we feel uncomfortable with people knowing our business. So no one will know that you're in the masterclass. It's webinar format. So your name will not be listed. You will not be on camera. Only the speakers will be on camera. Okay. So keep that in mind. So part one, you can get both of the masterclass. It's going to be two. So you can get the how to get ready to leave. And then you can also get, once you've left, how to heal. That's the second part. That's October 27th. So you can get both of those, or you can go to one or the other. Okay. So information is available to you. You see it on the screen, going across the screen, but it is also available in the description section. So again, reflect on these tips I'm offering you and really be honest with yourself. Are these Band-Aid approaches for you? Is it something you think you can do for years and years and years? And also think about the cost that you may incur because of this. Okay. So I realized I got to the whole end of this video. I didn't even introduce myself. I got right into the content because I wanted to have a real talk conversation with you. But if you don't know me already, I'm Dr. Kamani. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, a toxic job survivor, but more importantly, I'm a toxic job liberator for Black women. And I'm sharing this information with you because so many Black women have reached out to me and said, or asked me, can you please do videos about how to stay at a job? So I'm sharing information with you, but I'm sharing it with you real talk. I'm not lying to you. I'm not saying try A, B, and C and it's going to make everything better, because more than likely things at your job, if you can't stand it, more than likely it's not going to get better. So think about the tips I'm offering. Think about the masterclass, register for the masterclasses. So again, you could do one or both. Okay. So you can choose either how to get ready to leave a job, a toxic job, and or how to heal after you leave the toxic job. So again, October 20th is for the how to get ready to leave, and October 27th is the one about how to heal after leaving a toxic job, because it's a grief process. It really is. Okay. So thank you for watching. Please share this information with other Black women. Please give this video a thumbs up. It lets YouTube know to suggest this video to other Black women. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so, because we're trying to, again, share this message with as many Black women as possible, because there's so many of us who are experiencing negative experiences in these jobs. And we have also seen situations with Black women who have dedicated their lives to their jobs, and we've seen the negative outcomes. So I just say to you, just as I said to myself when I was in a toxic job, I don't want to end up like those people. I don't want to end up like those women who stayed there and fought and fought and fought and felt that if they worked harder, if they got more degrees, if they got more credentials, if they got all these things, that things would get better at their jobs. And they didn't. And they ended up paying a really very painful price. So I don't want that for you, just as I didn't want that for me. So utilize the resources that are available to you. I have a number of resources available, my resource in my description section, but I'm also sharing with you these two specific resources that are available to you pretty soon. Okay, so October 20th and October 27th, plan to attend the masterclasses. Again, one or the other. Okay, and share this information with other Black women. We're trying to liberate other Black women. So liberate yourself and look out and liberate your other sisters too, because we all need liberation from experiences that are harming us. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.